Hi guys, it's Josie, and today I have a little exercise for you to do, which I do with people when I'm teaching them sometimes. It's to help them understand flexion, and it's also to build some muscle memory and some habits in your body. So there are conscious and unconscious habits. Now, unconscious habits can be bad, but they can also be good. I have drilled myself enough to have a lot of unconscious habits when I ride a horse, and this is one of them. But I will talk you through what I do today and how I set it up to help people get it, all right? So what is flexion first? Flexion is the most important part of bend in a horse. You cannot have bend in a horse without flexion, but you can have flexion without bend. So flexion comes from the pole joint. The P-O-double-L. I see people spell it P-O-L-L. It's P-O-double-L, no E. And it's the top joint up here in the horse's neck, and it's the one that allows them to swivel their head on the end of their neck. So I can touch my rein and Lily just flexed to the left. I can touch there and she flexed, to the right, to the left. Flex to the right, flex to the left. Flex to the right, flex to the left. Flex to the right. She sometimes wants to bend her neck. Yeah, that's flexion. And there's some flexion. I'll turn face on and see if we can do it. I do have another video which I'll link in the description, which you will see me teaching Spider and showing you on him. Bless him, we lost him a couple of months ago. He's no longer with us. So see if I can get flexion left, flexion right, flexion left, flexion right. And what you can see is you can see the corner of the horse's eye when it's in flexion. Now, horses can flex usually easier to one side than the other. They're like us, they're either right or left-handed, or they literally shaped like a banana one way or the other. So if you're trying to flex them on their difficult side, it won't be so easy. This is such an easy exercise, guys. All you need, well, I've got cones. You're having some visuals to remind you. If you don't have cones, don't worry, just get some milk bottles, fill them up with water, fill them up with sand, some different coloured rocks. Make sure they're not too big, because if you accidentally come off, you don't want anything that you can fall on and hurt yourself. You just need a visual reminder. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk around here. The first cone is going to be to remind you to warn your horse that something's coming, because they need to know that you're about to do something. Because our aids take time to go from whatever part of the body we give to them to their brain and then back to wherever it is that you want them to do. So I want them to be aware and not daydreaming out there. I want them to be aware that something's coming up. Now I do that with a squeeze and release of my rein. We'll just come in a little closer. It is literally, I hold my reins properly, and it is literally a squeeze and release, squeeze and release, squeeze and release. Just one, squeeze and release. And when you've got a nice light connection with your horse's mouth, they can feel it. Don't be hanging on. It's just a light contact. So if I'll squeeze my left hand there. That's, you saw me. All I did, I'll straighten her up. We'll do it again. I'll just squeeze the wrist, the fingers there. See her head move? That's all you need. Okay, start with your young green horse in walk, and we come down here, and our first cone is to remind us to warn the horse. Now I just did a halt there, but what I normally do is I pick up my core a little bit, pick up the tension in my body, and I just touch the outside rein, and that way, like, it's literally just a touch, and they will usually flick their ear at me if it's not already at me, which tells me they've come back to me. They're like, oh, something's happening. Then at the next cone, we will be asking for inside flexion with that squeeze that I showed you. And remember, flexion comes from the pole. It's not neck bend. So the horse can actually bend his neck without giving any flexion in the pole, and that is not correct bend. Okay, so I've warned Lily here. We walk on here and I'll ask her for flexion. I can see her inside eye. Flexion, flexion. We're doing half a 20-metre circle here. So, woo, good girl. Woo, it's a bit windy, don't worry about that. That happens. So the cones are just to help you remember. It's not to ride into the corner. So we'll run through that again without a halt. It's just a very light connection with your horse's mouth. You don't have to be pulling. Well, I don't want you pulling on them. I'm warning her here. Yep. And now I'm asking for a little bit of flexion, which was there, a little bit of flexion. Good girl. And whilst I can see her eye and she holds the flexion, I don't re-ask. Flexion there. Flexion there. Flexion there. And the reason I'm asking there is because Lily was going a little bit firm against the bit, and then I straightened her up. So we'll turn around and do that the other way. So remember that I told you that your horse will be more difficult one way than the other, and don't worry about that. That is perfectly natural. So I'm warning her here. Good girl. Now I'm asking for flexion. This is Lily's difficult way. Yep. I don't get anywhere. Yep, flexion. Flexion again. Flexion again. Flexion again. So this way, every time I say it, I'm squeezing my ring finger gently because she gives it to me, but then she straightens up. Flexion again, and now we're going to go straight. It's her difficult side. It's like me giving you a pen and asking you to write in your non-dominant hand. It's hard. Have compassion for your horse. All right, so we'll do one more in walk and then we'll go off in trot. So I get the first cone here is to remind me to just go, Lily, are you listening to me? Good girl. Second cone, ask for flexion. Good girl. Flexion, good girl. She takes, see, if I put a loop in it, she straightens up. You don't want to be holding the flexion. You'd like the horse to hold it. So I just ask and release. Ask and release. That's better. Ask and release. There. She held it in that corner of her own accord. Good girl. We'll go off and do that in trot. So we're coming down here. I'm just going to warn her in a minute. Listen to me, Lily. Listen, yes. Flexion, 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 flexion. Good girl. So I did ask for a lot of flexion that way, like as in individually. So we'll do that one again. I will ask her to listen and flexion, 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 flexion. Good girl. Flexion. Let's look at the difference now. I'm going to go the other way in trot and you'll see it. You can't see me, but you will in a minute, and you'll hear me say flexion every time I squeeze this rein. So here I'm going to warn her. Now flexion, flexion. So Lily held her own flexion for most of going around that corner. So that's how you can use the corners of your arena to help you build some suppleness in your horse, and also help you to get some unconscious good habits so they become conscious to start with. That's what we're using the cones for. And then once you build them in, you'll start to do that without thinking, and then you can move on to thinking about other things. And that's how we develop as a horse rider and a horse trainer. So the circle is exactly the same. I use a circle for all of my young green horses, all of the horses that I'm starting under saddle. I don't use the cones now because it's something I remember to do, but while you're learning, put some cones out or some visual for you to remind you. When you get to the cone, outside rein, Lily came back and went, oh, something's happening. That was me reminding her, because why? We were sort of coming around on the circle. I'll do it again here. Outside rein, good girl. And then the inside rein asks for flexion and bend. It's supported by your inside leg. So if she was to go like this and fall in here, I'll put my inside leg on her, see, and ask her, no, don't fall in, but bend. Good girl. So we'll go off and we'll do that one in trot. This is her more difficult side, remember. It's her stiff side. Good girl. All right. So we get to the cone and I'll sit up and listen, yes, and flexion, flexion, good girl. That's better. Steady at the cone, flexion. Steady at the cone, flexion. It's okay, sweetheart. It's okay. I don't know what that was. That's okay. Try again. Steady at the cone and flexion. Remember, when stuff like that happens, you just ride on as if nothing happened. The horse will get their confidence from you. Listening, flexion. 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 Good girl. Good girl, flexion. So I made no big deal out of that. Flexion. Good girl. Flexion. Can just see the inside, yep, the corner of her eye. All right. Listening, flexion. Steady, because she was falling forward then. Getting faster in her rhythm. Flexion. Good girl. Flexion. Good girl. Flexion. Flexion. Now, she's a lot more advanced. I'm sorry, as I said, I don't have a really green one to show you, but I can tell you what I might be doing. I get to here and I go, hang on, get the horse in front of me first and go flexion, 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 because they go straight, flex straight, because they're stiff. Flexion, flexion. Good. We'll go the other way and I'll show you how different it is. So, flexion, good. Flexion, flexion, good. Flexion, flexion, flexion. Whoops, outside rein that was then because she was falling out. Flexion. Good girl. So you can see, or hopefully hear by the amount of aids I'm giving her, it's much easier for her to bend this way than the other way. Good girl. So it basically becomes, after a little while, that she's within 2 train tracks. So my reins become train tracks. And when I ask her for bend and flexion, I can feel both sides of her mouth. If she starts to push out through this train track, it closes. I don't pull it. You don't see me pull it, but I might close my finger a bit, which helps her to go, oh, I've gone that way a little bit, and then she might fall in. When she falls in, if she's not flexed, I'll ask for a bit of flexion and put my leg on, because my leg helps push her off of the inside train track. My outside rein and sometimes my outside leg or thigh will help keep her front end coming around. But we were talking about flexion and I've digressed again. So flexion is just from the pole joint, the top joint in the neck where the horse can just, and horses, when you get them nice and soft in the pole, naturally want to do that and see you'll be able to see her ligament here just flicking, but they want to lower and go down. It's just part of it. Good girl. There it is flicking. Good girl. I'd love for you to set this up and I'd love for you to go and try it. It works really well when I do it in lessons with people. They really get a feel and they actually feel their horse soften all the way through the body. So no, we don't soften the horse from front to back, but just in massaging the pole, we can feel them relax. You think about, you got tense shoulders, someone gives you just a soft little massagey thing and you go, oh, the horses do that too. So come back and tell me how it goes, and thanks for watching.